Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. What to expect in 2024 and the coming future. Some things to expect. The elder apostles is deemed this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. So Jacob's trouble signifies the spiritual power. That signifies a lot of things. That's a heavy statement for 2024. Now, there are things in the midst of that have to come to pass. Different wars would have to escalate. Wars and rumors of wars, which I have something here on that. It says here, the 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. That also includes the microchip, because Jacob's trouble is just the persecution of the Israelites, which is so-called Black, Latinos, Native Americans. All right. So we'll see. This Zelenskyy, Crimea, and battle in Black Sea will become war's center of gravity. So this is a Slavic symbol. The Slavic goes back to slaves. It says 2024. So what to expect in 2024? Crimea and the related battle in the Black Sea will become war's center of gravity. So they're relying on Western powers for help. If they didn't have Western help, other EU countries' help in America, which is the beast, Ukraine would have been fell. So, but Zelenskyy says the speed of any success will depend on military assistance Ukraine receives from the different EU and American countries, Canada, etc. He has asked for Taurus, a German-made long-range cruise missile with the ability to explode deep inside a target. All right. So if it wasn't for the beast, let me get this chart here. Now the beast, 7 heads, 10 horns, is the EU countries. The 10 horns represent the common marker of the European Economic Community, EEC, established in 1958. Today, the EEC is known as the EU, or European Union. All right. So the European Union countries are supplying, which is the beast. All right. They're holding up Ukraine. So essentially they're fighting the Russians. You can see that. So we got NATO and the European Union, which they're the same countries. It just differs. You got political divisions, etc. Some of them in the euro, some of them not in the euro. Some of them have their own currency, and then they trade, etc. So this makes up the beast. All right. So you got the 7 heads. Then you have the horns. And then horns, sit on top of a head of a beast. All right. So you're really talking about the same thing. It's just one organization under those different names, and they make up the beast in the book of Revelation. All right. Now, if you go to Revelation 17, it says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So we know eventually these countries, these beast countries, all right, it says the 10 horns, all right, they're going to turn against America, the whore that rideth on the beast, all right, the great whore. So eventually America's allies are going to turn against America, which is Babylon. All right, the great whore Babylon, which we believe is America. It can only be talking about America. All right, now here's an example. It says Russian oil refinery in EU state raided. I mean, I believe they went through their taxes and to see in their paperwork to see how much oil is being imported and exported. So Bulgaria was initially exempt from the EU ban on Russian crude and allowed to continue buying it until the end of 2024. But Sofia, I guess that's the head of the EU. Look her up, Sofia. But Sofia passed a motion in mid-December that prematurely waived its exemption and restricted imports of Russian oil. So Luke is a Russian company. So the point is, these energy and the needs to feed their people are greatly being affected by them not doing business with Russia or reducing their business, and this could very well be one of the reasons that those EU NATO countries turn against the whore, which is America and Babylon. The ban is to be implemented in 2 stages from January 1st. Nephtolim had, I guess that's the name of the oil refinery, where it's at in Bulgaria, has been prohibited from exporting petroleum products made from Russian crude, and from March 1st, the plant has to completely stop using Russian oil for refining. Industry experts have previously warned that halting exports of oil products made from Russian crude could cause overstocking of warehouses and a decrease in fuel production volumes in the coming months. So where are they going to get the oil from? They're going to have to buy it from the different European Union, NATO countries. And that's a cost difference. New contracts they have to sign, they have to commit to buying a certain amount of oil. So this money thing is to economically deplete and marginalize Russia could very well be the thing that causes the 10 horns to turn completely against the whore of Babylon, America. All right. Let's see the chart again. The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, all right, is North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the European Union. All right. You have the European Union. It says as of January 1st, 2011, I believe it's still the same as 27 countries. All right. You can count, and then excluding the flag for the European Union. And you can see the ones that use the euro. So if you were in the Union, you have to abide by their rules. So Bulgaria has to abide. They come under the jurisdiction of the EU. And the EU is the beast. 10 horns. And these are the philosophies over here. It says democracy, their religion, idolatry, homosexuality, lies, adultery, covetousness, and murder. All right. This is what and they're all ruled by Edomites. So this is which is free. You can freely do in their kingdoms, and this is why we know this is a wicked organization. All right, that's the European Union. So you're gonna maybe in 2024, this may be the year that you'll start to see different European Union countries defect from their union and their currency. Now, you had a book of Obadiah, 1-7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in them. All right. So those allies of the whore, through their different organizations, the European Union or NATO, are eventually going to, through some means, it could be the war in Ukraine, it could be the war in the Levant between the Palestinian people and the Khazar Jays. Some event, some practice is going to make those countries turn against America. All right, they're going to shoot their nuclear fire, the ones that possess it, on Babylon, America. All right, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, and you're going to be destroyed by them. The men that were at peace with thee had deceived thee, okay, which is those NATO and European Union countries, and prevailed against thee, meaning they're going to use their nuclear arsenal and their resources against the whore. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Yeah, the countries that you give aid and contracts to, trade agreements, that's eat thy bread, eating thy bread. There is none understanding him. Yeah, so all Esau's supercomputers, his think tanks, they're going to fail him in the end when that nuclear fire is comes to a Babylon, America, when they use their nuclear fire on America and they get out of the contracts and unions and agreements with the whore and with their organization that they created, right, which is the NATO and European Union. All right. And remember, Vladimir Zelenskyy is a so-called J. He's a Khazar J. All right. As the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock, we believe, is the tribe of Amalek, of the Edomites, of the nation of Edom. All right. As it is written, Esau is the end of the world. Let me get that. So we know that Esau is going to be a prominent figure in the last days. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the last war is going to be fought with the Edomites being the superpower on the earth. All right, the Edomites have, according to prophecy, have to exist. All right, and when you go to Jeremiah 49 and 50. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate. And when you go to put flock out, you go to fill it links up with Jeremiah 50. It's just repeating the same thing. It's just using different words so you'll know. So Jeremiah is leaving you, spiritual clues to who Edom is. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon. All right, to replace Babylon for Edom, and his purposes that he hath purpose against the Chaldeans or T-man. All right, see the pattern? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right. Yeah, the war. So when the draw what the Third World War, and then eventually the nuclear fire, which is going to make where that war takes place desolate, because they're all going to die there, and the result of the war is going to be the nuclear fire on the whore. All right. So the Third World War, Edom is going to be fighting in that Third World War. All right, and according to his blessing, which no one else on this earth has, all right, it's unique to him. The sword, I mean, he conquered the world through the sword. All other nations have the sword, but the Edomites have conquered the world through that sword. The Chinese have not done that. All right, they had their little area, Southeast Asia, and then they're getting into Africa now. But that blessing was given to Edom. All right, he the first one to have it, and he uses it most effectively. That's how we can single Esau out. That's how we know that these European Union nations and NATO nations are governed and ruled by Edom. All right, according to Esau's blessing. No one else has that blessing. It's very clear. All right, so you can see the link between Jeremiah 49 and 50, Babylon, Edom, and Teman and Chaldeans. All right, which Teman is supposed to be the wise men, have an understanding of many things, and the Chaldeans were the same thing. All right, so we know the Edomites are a major player in the last days.